the cowboy said. That's why I want you. After she whispered, I'm not like other women, the twin suns of Iridia were low in the sky, painting the desert-like plains with streaks of orange and gold. The horizon shimmered with heat waves, and the distant cliffs looked like they were made of molten copper. From far off, a lone figure rode slowly across the barren land, the soft hum of his hover horse blending with the whispering wind. He was known simply as Cain Dustwalker Core, a cowboy with a reputation for moving quietly, never staying long, and having an uncanny sense for trouble before it even arrived. His coat, a long brown leather duster, flapped gently behind him, and his wide-brimmed hat shaded his sharp eyes. On his belt, a set of small tools glinted, not weapons. He preferred brains and cleverness over fighting. Cain was heading to Dustlight Station, a small trading post at the edge of the Iridian Wastes. It was the kind of place where travelers stopped for supplies, rumors, and stories of the strange happenings across the galaxy. Cain didn't usually care for gossip, but today he had a reason. A few days earlier, a message had arrived in the form of a holographic pulse. It had been short, soft, almost a whisper. I'm not like other women, but I need someone who understands. That's why I want you. Cain had frowned at it. The sender's name was Mira, and the signature line shimmered with her personal emblem, a silver feather over a black star. He didn't know her, but something about the message tugged at him. It was unusual. Rare. And in his experience, rare messages like these often meant a story worth following. By the time he reached Dustlight Station, the suns were sinking behind the cliffs, leaving the sky a deep violet streaked with crimson. The station itself looked old, a mix of metal panels patched together with sandblasted wood. A few figures moved in the fading light, merchants cleaning their stalls, travelers unloading hover carts, and children chasing each other across the open ground. Cain dismounted his hover horse and adjusted his coat. His eyes scanned the station, searching for Mira. There were many people, but one figure caught his attention immediately. She was standing near the entrance of the main trading hall, her silhouette tall and confident. Her long coat shimmered slightly, not with dust, but with a faint energy field that made her glow softly in the twilight. She turned slightly as if she sensed him, and for a moment their eyes met. Cain felt that familiar tug in his chest, the one that warned him that this encounter would change things. She walked toward him, her boots leaving no mark in the soft sand. You're Cain Core, she said, her voice calm but firm, carrying an edge of authority. I wasn't sure you'd come. I came because I'm curious, Cain replied. He tilted his hat back slightly. Curiosity's my kind of trouble. You? I have my reasons, she said. Her name was Mira, just as the message had said. She smiled faintly, but there was a mystery in her eyes, like a story locked behind a door he wasn't sure he could open. I like people who aren't like others, Cain said. He could feel the air shift between them, electric but not threatening. Guess that makes us even. Mira's laugh was soft, like wind over sand dunes. Maybe. Or maybe it makes this dangerous? Cain raised an eyebrow. Dangerous how? Not the kind you're used to, but the kind that changes how you see the world, she said. I need help, Cain. Not with fighting, but with finding something that doesn't want to be found. Cain leaned back against his hover horse, studying her. I found plenty of things that didn't want to be found, he said. Mostly hidden treasure, lost messages, or secrets people tried to forget. What is it you're looking for? Mira hesitated. For a moment she looked away, scanning the station as though expecting someone or something to appear. Then she whispered, a star map. One that leads to a place no one knows about. A place that could change everything. Cain's interest sharpened. Star maps were rare and valuable, but the kind she described, that was something else entirely. He had chased rumors of hidden worlds before, but never one like this. The thought of adventure sparked a thrill he hadn't felt in years. Then I guess we're partners, he said, extending a hand. Mira looked at it, then back at him, and finally took it. Her grip was firm, confident. It was clear she wasn't used to relying on others, but she trusted him enough to try. They didn't talk much on the way to her small quarters in the back of the station. Mira's room was simple, decorated with holographic star charts and small artifacts she had collected from faraway worlds. On a table lay a folded cloth with the faint outline of a map inside. Mira pulled it open carefully, and Cain leaned in, his eyes widening slightly. This is more than a star map, he said. This is a puzzle. Mira nodded. It isn't just about finding a place. It's about understanding why it's hidden. There are rules, Kane. Old rules made by someone or something that doesn't want anyone to reach it. Kane studied the lines and symbols on the map. They weren't just coordinates, they were patterns, like a language. His fingers traced one path carefully. I like puzzles, he said simply. But this one, it's tricky. Someone really didn't want people like us to see it. Exactly, Mira said. And that's why I need someone who isn't like other people. Someone who can think differently. Someone who can adapt. Kane grinned, tipping his hat. Well, you've got me. But I warn you, I don't do easy. Mira's eyes sparkled. Good. Easy doesn't usually work for me. The night stretched on as they studied the map, making small plans. Kane suggested routes through uncharted space lanes while Mira deciphered the symbols that indicated safe and dangerous zones. The air between them was quiet but filled with energy, the kind that comes when two people on the edge of discovery realize they might be in over their heads, but in the most exciting way possible. Finally, Kane stood and stretched. We'll need supplies, transport, and maybe a few clever tricks if we want to make it past the first checkpoint. And we'll need to leave before the patrols notice our route. Mira nodded, already thinking ahead. I have a small ship hidden at the station's edge. It can take us far enough to start the journey. Kane smiled. Then tomorrow, we ride. Dustlight Station is just the beginning. As they parted for the night, Kane couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than a simple adventure. Mira had a secret, and the map hinted at something even bigger, something that could change the way the galaxy saw itself. But he didn't fear it. Not yet. Adventure had always called to him, and this felt like the kind of story he had been waiting for. Outside, the twin suns had fully set, and the stars of Iridia sparkled in the sky. The desert was quiet again, the wind whispering secrets through the rocks and sand. Somewhere out there, a hidden world waited, and Kane-Core and Mira were about to chase it. For Kane, this was the kind of ride worth taking. And for Mira, well, she wasn't like other women. And Kane had a feeling that, somehow, that was exactly what he needed. The night settled over Dustlight Station, peaceful yet brimming with the promise of a journey that would test courage, intelligence, and the unlikely bond forming between a wandering cowboy and a woman with secrets too big for the stars themselves. Tomorrow they would set out, and the galaxy would never be the same. The twin suns had disappeared completely behind the Iridian cliffs, leaving a sky washed with stars. Dustlight Station settled into quiet, the low hum of hover engines fading to soft whispers in the desert night. Kane-Core stood outside Mira's small quarters, stretching and scanning the horizon. His hover horse shifted restlessly beneath him, sensing the change in the air. Tonight, the station felt different, like it held its breath. Mira stepped out behind him carrying a small satchel filled with supplies. Her long coat brushed the sand, the soft energy shimmer of her field casting faint light. Everything is ready, she said. The ship is fueled, mapped, and hidden. If we leave now, we can clear the patrol zones before morning. Kane nodded. Good. I like moving fast. Less time for trouble to catch up. He swung lightly onto his hover horse and extended a hand. Mira climbed up beside him, holding the satchel tightly. They rode across the station's outskirts, past sleeping merchants and distant lamps flickering in the wind. Dustlight Station faded behind them, replaced by the endless orange and violet plains. The air smelled faintly of ionized sand, a scent Kane always associated with new beginnings. After several minutes, they reached a rocky outcrop where a small ship was hidden under a natural overhang. Its hull was sleek and painted in dark shades of blue and silver. It glimmered softly under the starlight, almost like it was alive. Kane landed beside it and examined the exterior. Nice work hiding her, he said. Someone who doesn't know the desert would never spot her. Mira smiled faintly. That's the point. She's not meant to be found until we're ready. Inside, the ship was compact, but well organized. Instruments blinked softly, panels hummed, and the cockpit smelled faintly of metal and ozone. Mira slid into the pilot's seat while Kane handled the navigation charts. The star map they had studied at the station was now carefully laid across the central console. Coordinates? Kane asked. Mira's fingers danced over the controls. First jump point? Beyond the outer sector, through the Dust Veil Nebula. Safe for now, but the map warns of strong gravitational anomalies. Kane leaned back. Anomalies? That's just code for weird stuff, right? Exactly, Mira said. Her smile was almost playful, but her eyes stayed focused on the screens. And we're not here for ordinary. Ordinary doesn't matter to us. With a soft hum, the ship lifted off the ground. Dust swirled beneath them, glowing faintly under the thrusters. Kane watched the horizon shrink, then blinked as the station disappeared completely, leaving only the endless expanse of space ahead. The first few hours of travel were quiet. Mira piloted smoothly, weaving the ship through low-level currents of asteroid debris, while Kane studied the map, pointing out patterns and possible shortcuts.
"Look here," Kane said, tapping a glowing line on the chart.
"This path curves through the edge of the grav belt. Could save us time, but it's tricky. One wrong move and we could get stuck." Mira nodded, hands steady. "I can manage. I've studied these currents before. Timing is key, and patience." Kane grinned. "Patience isn't usually my style, but I think I like working with you." For a while they spoke about lighter things. Old adventures Kane had taken, planets Mira had explored, strange creatures she had encountered. Their conversation was easy, flowing naturally, as if they had known each other far longer than a few days. But soon, the silence returned, filled with the soft hum of the ship and the occasional beep of instruments. Kane's gaze wandered to the viewport, where the stars stretched endlessly. There was a beauty in the vast emptiness, a quiet that was almost sacred. "You ever wonder why anyone hides a place like this?" Kane asked suddenly. "If it's so important, why not just share it?" Mira's fingers paused over the controls. "Some things are meant to be protected, not found. Some places, they're not for everyone. Only those who are ready can see them." Kane considered that, nodding slowly. "I guess that explains a lot. People, secrets, planets, the universe is full of hidden things, huh?" "Yes," Mira said softly, "and some of those things change everything when they're discovered." Their path took them close to the Dust Veil Nebula, a swirling mass of blue and silver clouds. The grav anomalies Mira had warned about were subtle at first, a gentle pull here, a slight shimmer there, but as they entered the thickest part, the ship began to shift, sliding like a leaf in a stream. Kane leaned over, studying the readouts. "Careful," he murmured. "It's stronger than we thought." Mira's hands flew over the controls. "I know. Just keep your eyes on the chart. Timing is everything." The ship weaved gracefully, sliding past glowing gas clouds and small asteroid fragments. The navigation console blinked with warnings, but Mira's confidence never wavered. Kane felt a thrill in the air, the kind that came when danger was only a puzzle, not a threat. After tense minutes that felt like hours, they emerged on the other side. The nebula glowed behind them, serene and beautiful, almost like a veil being lifted. Kane let out a low whistle. "Not bad. Not bad at all." Mira smiled, though she didn't relax fully. "We're only halfway. The next jump is trickier. The map shows a corridor through a sector that no one charts anymore." Kane raised an eyebrow. "Ghost sector?" "Something like that," Mira said. "Old worlds, abandoned stations, some still hold secrets, others just warnings. We'll find out which is which." As they prepared for the jump, Kane couldn't help noticing Mira's gaze. She stared at the star map with intensity, tracing lines with her finger. He didn't interrupt. Some mysteries were better observed in silence. The ship jumped, and the stars stretched into long lines, then reformed into a cluster of glowing worlds. Below them was a planet marked on Mira's map, a dark green and blue orb, untouched by most travelers. Kane could feel the excitement building. They were close, closer than most had ever been to this hidden world. Mira's voice broke the quiet. "We land here, but we have to move carefully. The map shows signs of old technology, automated systems, even guardians, though none are active now. But they might wake if disturbed." Kane studied the planet below. "Sounds like a puzzle, and I do love puzzles." "Good," Mira said. Her eyes met his, and there was a quiet intensity there. "Because this is only the beginning. Once we step onto the surface, the real journey starts." The landing was smooth, the ship settling into a natural clearing among tall crystalline formations that glowed faintly in the twilight. Kane stepped out first, feeling the cool, slightly charged air on his skin. Mira followed, her boots leaving no mark as she scanned the surroundings. The planet was alive in a quiet way. Strange plants shimmered softly under the twin moons, and distant shapes moved just beyond sight. It was beautiful, alien, and untouched, a perfect secret waiting to be discovered. Kane and Mira set up a small temporary camp, and for a moment they simply watched the sky. "We made it this far," Kane said. "But somehow I feel like the map isn't done testing us yet." Mira nodded. "It won't. That's why it chose me." That's why I chose you. Only those willing to think, adapt, and trust can follow it to the end. Kane smiled faintly, tipping his hat. Then I guess I'm in. Whatever comes next, we face it together. Mira returned the smile, though her eyes hinted at caution. Together, she agreed. And as the twin moons rose over the crystalline forests, Kane knew the real adventure had just begun. This hidden world, the secrets it held, and the challenges ahead would test everything. Intelligence, patience, courage, and the growing bond between a wandering cowboy and a woman unlike any other. The night hummed softly around them, filled with quiet energy and the promise of discovery. Somewhere deep within the planet, the first puzzles of the hidden world awaited, ready to test those brave enough to step forward. Kane adjusted his coat, glanced at Mira, and whispered to himself, "Let's see what secrets you're hiding, universe." The journey beyond Dustlight Station had only just begun, and the map's mysteries were waiting, patient and silent, like a story ready to unfold. The twin moons cast a gentle light over the crystal forest, turning the translucent formations into towers of silver and soft blue. Kane Core stepped carefully across the smooth ground, his boots making no more than faint whispers against the luminous crystals. Mira walked beside him, holding a small lantern that glowed with a soft green light. "This place, it's alive," Kane said, eyes scanning the strange forest. "I mean, not alive like creatures, but something's watching, waiting," Mira nodded. "It responds to attention. The crystals record, reflect, and guide. They're part of the map, part of the challenge. If we're observant, we'll find the first clue." Kane tilted his hat back and looked closer at the crystals. Each formation reflected light differently, some pulsing softly, others remaining dark. "Guiding us, huh? So the map isn't just in the charts. It's here, in the environment itself." "Yes," Mira said. "Every step we take matters." The crystals react to presence, movement, even thought. "Some people say the forest chooses who can proceed," Kane smirked. "Well, I've never been chosen by a forest before, but I'm ready to try." They moved slowly, observing patterns in the crystal's glow. Mira pointed to a group of formations ahead. "See those 3 tall ones? They're arranged like a compass. If we step in the correct sequence, they'll open the first pathway." Kane raised an eyebrow. "Step in the correct sequence? Sounds simple enough, unless it isn't." Mira smiled faintly. "It isn't simple. The sequence depends on rhythm and timing, not just position. Watch the pulses. They tell a story. Follow it carefully." Kane crouched to examine the first crystal. It glimmered faintly, pulsing twice before dimming. He tapped the ground lightly in the same rhythm. The second crystal pulsed in response. Mira nodded encouragingly, adjusting her step to match his. Together they mimicked the sequence, moving carefully across the forest. After several attempts, the final crystal pulsed strongly, sending a soft hum through the air. A path opened, revealing a narrow corridor lined with taller, sharper crystals. The light inside glowed with a soft blue energy. "You did well," Mira said, her voice soft but proud. "Not many understand the pulse at first try." Kane shrugged. "Guess I'm better at puzzles than I thought." "But you read this place like it's a book." Mira smiled, but her eyes were thoughtful. "It's not just reading, it's feeling. The crystals respond to more than just touch. They respond to respect." They stepped into the corridor. The air was cool, slightly charged, like static electricity. Strange markings appeared on the walls, glowing faintly as they passed. Kane ran his fingers over them. "Looks like some kind of language, but I don't recognize it." "Neither do I," Mira said.
But the map shows these symbols are important. Each one is a part of a puzzle.
"The key is understanding the pattern, not the words." Kane studied the symbols. Lines connected shapes in repeating sequences, forming what looked like a circuit or network. It's almost like a story told in shapes. A rhythm. A path forward. Mira nodded. "Exactly. Follow the story, and it will lead us." Step by step, they moved deeper, carefully tracing the shapes with their hands and observing the glow. Occasionally, the crystals pulsed in response, guiding them along the correct path. Kane noticed how Mira's touch was deliberate, confident, every movement precise, almost like a dance. "You've done this before," he remarked. "Once or twice," she said with a small laugh. "Enough to know that patience is as important as intelligence." Hours seemed to pass as they navigated the corridors. The forest changed subtly, crystals bending, walls shifting, light patterns shifting in response to their movements. Kane felt the thrill of discovery in every pulse. He had chased many adventures, but this was alive in a way he had never experienced. Finally, they reached a chamber larger than the rest. Crystals here formed arches and columns, creating a cathedral-like space. In the center floated a single crystal, glowing brighter than any other. Its light reflected across the chamber, forming intricate patterns on the walls and floor. "This must be the first node," Mira whispered. "The map shows a central focus here. If we solve this, the next path will open." Kane studied the floating crystal. It shimmered, changing colors slowly. He reached out a hand, but Mira stopped him gently. "Not yet," she said. "It responds to thought and gesture, not touch. Watch it, understand it, and then act." They studied the crystal together. It pulsed in patterns that mirrored the earlier sequences, but more complex. Mira traced the shapes in the air, and Kane followed, their movements synchronized. Slowly, the crystal began to respond, glowing brighter with each correct gesture. "It's like we're speaking the language," Kane said, astonished. "But without words?" "Yes," Mira said softly. "The map tests more than skill. It tests connection, how well two people can work together, think together, and trust each other." Kane looked at her, a grin spreading across his face. "Trust, huh? Well, you're not like other women, Mira. And I think I'm starting to understand why the map chose us both." Mira's eyes met his, a flicker of warmth and amusement crossing her features. "And you? You're not like other cowboys, Kane. Most would see only obstacles. You see patterns, possibilities, solutions?" Kane chuckled. "I've had a lot of practice with trouble, but this is something different. I like it." After several more coordinated gestures, the central crystal pulsed brightly and descended gently to the ground. As it landed, the chamber shifted, the walls realigned, forming a doorway leading deeper into the forest. Kane whistled softly. "That's what I call progress. But I have a feeling this is only the beginning." Mira nodded. "Yes. The first node is always the simplest. The real challenge lies ahead, where the map's puzzles are intertwined with the planet itself. Every step will require thought, observation, and teamwork." They stepped through the doorway, leaving the cathedral chamber behind. Outside, the forest had grown denser. Crystals twisted in unusual shapes, forming bridges and archways, glowing in colors they had not seen before. Strange shadows played across the ground, though none were threatening. Kane paused, looking at Mira. "You ever get scared? I mean, this is strange, unknown, and probably full of surprises we can't even imagine." Mira shook her head. "I've learned that fear doesn't help. Curiosity does. Respect for the unknown does. And patience, always patience." Kane nodded, impressed. "You make it sound simple." "I'll try." As they moved deeper, they came upon a shallow pool of liquid crystal. Its surface reflected not only their images, but faint visions of the forest beyond, places they hadn't yet reached. Mira knelt beside it, tracing a shape in the surface. The crystal rippled and formed a projection of the next pathway, hidden behind thick crystal growths. "The pool shows possibilities," she explained. "We can't touch the path, only interpret it. Every misstep will lead us back. This is where observation is more important than speed." Kane studied the projection, then looked at Mira. "Observation, not speed."
Got it. Let's do it.
Together, they followed the projection, pausing to study every formation, every reflection. Kane noticed patterns Mira didn't, while she noticed rhythms he overlooked. Step by step, they moved through the hidden path, each complementing the other's strengths. Finally, they reached a plateau overlooking a valley of towering crystals. In the center, a faint light glowed, pulsing like a heartbeat. Kane and Mira approached cautiously, the air filled with anticipation. "This is the next node," Mira whispered, "and it will require more than gestures or sequences. It will require imagination and connection." Kane looked at the glowing light, then at Mira. "Well, I think we're ready. Together." Mira smiled faintly, her eyes reflecting the crystal glow. "Together," she agreed. And as they stepped forward toward the pulsing light, the forest seemed to lean closer, watching, waiting, offering its challenge and its secrets to the two explorers brave enough to follow the map. The hidden world was alive. The puzzles were growing more complex, and Kane and Mira's journey had truly begun. The pulsing light in the valley ahead seemed to breathe, spreading warmth and color through the surrounding crystal towers. Kane, Kor, and Mira approached slowly, their footsteps careful, as if disturbing the energy might disrupt the entire hidden world. For the first time, Kane felt the full weight of what they had discovered. A place untouched by civilization, alive in ways no map or story could fully explain. "This is it," Mira whispered, "the heart of the world." "The map ends here, or rather, it begins anew." Kane studied the light. It was not just a glow, it was layered, like strands of energy weaving together, shifting patterns forming intricate designs that seemed almost alive. "It looks smart," he said, awe in his voice. "Like it knows we're here?" Mira nodded. "It does. Everything on this planet responds to attention, understanding, and connection. This isn't just a place to explore. It's a place to learn, to grow, to see beyond what we already know." Kane adjusted his coat and stepped closer. "Then, I guess we're about to learn a lot." As they approached the center of the valley, the pulsing light began to form shapes, projections in the air that reflected the history of the hidden world. He saw flashes of star systems, travelers who had come and gone, and structures built with precision far beyond ordinary skill. The projections shifted, revealing layers upon layers of meaning, as if the world itself was speaking without words. Mira stepped forward and extended her hands toward the light. The strands of energy responded, weaving around her fingers like ribbons of silk. "It responds to emotion and intention," she said softly. "It's not dangerous. It's curious. Like us." Kane studied the glowing strands, then mirrored her movements. The energy curved around his hands, too, gently nudging him, responding to his gestures. "I've faced storms, puzzles, and desert suns," he said, "but nothing feels like this." Mira looked at him. "It feels alive, because it is. The planet isn't just a place. It's a living archive, a memory of what once was, and what could be." Together they moved in rhythm with the energy, tracing patterns, exploring projections. Each gesture unlocked new sequences, new visions. Kane realized the hidden world was showing them its history, civilizations that valued knowledge over conquest, communities that lived in harmony with stars and planets, inventions designed to observe rather than destroy. "This is incredible," Kane said. "I thought the galaxy had secrets, but this is a treasure beyond anything I imagined." Mira smiled, her eyes reflecting the glow. "It's not a treasure you can take. It's a treasure you can understand. Knowledge, patterns, possibilities, this is what changes worlds." Kane looked at her thoughtfully. "And that's why the map chose you and me."
"We're not looking to take it. We're looking to understand it."
"Yes," Mira said. "That is why we were chosen. Those who seek power or fame will fail. Those who seek understanding, they will see." As they moved deeper into the heart of the valley, the energy strands began to converge, forming a crystalline sphere in the center. Inside it, projections rotated, showing a network of star systems connected by faint glowing lines. Kane reached out and lightly touched the sphere. He felt a gentle pulse travel through him, not just physical but mental, a flow of ideas and insights he hadn't imagined. The world was teaching him its logic, its beauty, its hidden order. Mira joined him, and their combined gestures caused the sphere to rotate faster, revealing deeper connections. "This is the map's core," Kane said. "It's not coordinates or planets. It's the relationships, the balance between worlds. Everything is connected." Mira nodded. "Yes. The heart of the hidden world shows how understanding patterns can guide action without harm. It's intelligence, empathy, and creativity, all in one place." Kane smiled. "I get it now. It's not just a puzzle. It's a lesson." They spent hours in the valley, tracing the strands, observing the projections, and piecing together the stories the planet shared. Kane discovered insights into navigation, problem-solving, and diplomacy that he had never considered. Mira, in turn, revealed the subtle ways the planet reacted to intention and trust. Together, they learned faster than either could have alone. Finally, the energy slowed, pulsing softly in acknowledgement of their efforts. The sphere's glow dimmed to a gentle shimmer. Kane turned to Mira. "I think it's done for now. We've unlocked enough to understand, at least for today." Mira nodded, her face illuminated by the soft glow. "The world will continue to teach, and now we carry its lessons with us." Kane looked around at the crystalline valley, taking in the beauty, the patterns, the silent history. "I feel changed. Not like I've been hit with danger or challenge, but like I've been shown a bigger picture." "Yes," Mira said softly. "That is the gift of this place. Not power, not treasure, understanding." Kane chuckled lightly. "And here I thought I'd just ride out for adventure. But I guess some adventures are more than riding or exploring. Some are learning who you are." Mira smiled. Exactly. And some adventures are better shared. Kane nodded, tipping his hat. I'm glad I found you, Mira. Not like other women, and not like anyone I've ever met. This planet, it feels like it chose us too. Mira's eyes reflected the soft pulse of the crystals. We chose it together, Kane. That's what matters. The twin moons rose higher, casting silver and blue light across the valley. Kane and Mira stepped back from the central sphere, letting the energy flow naturally. The valley pulsed gently, like a living heartbeat, as if acknowledging their respect and understanding. Ready to leave? Kane asked. Mira nodded.
Yes.
We take what we've learned and share it in ways that matter, not with weapons or control, but with knowledge and understanding. Kane grinned. I can live with that. As they walked back toward their ship, Kane looked over the valley one last time. He knew they hadn't taken anything physical, yet the experience itself was the greatest treasure. Every crystal, every pulse, every pattern was now a part of them. Back in the cockpit, Mira set coordinates for Dustlight Station. Kane looked at her, curiosity sparkling in his eyes. Think the station will notice we were gone? Maybe, she said with a small laugh, but they'll only see the travelers who return, wiser, calmer, and ready to think beyond the ordinary. Kane tipped his hat again, looking out at the stars. I think we're ready for whatever comes next. Mira smiled, placing a hand over his, and we'll face it together. The ship lifted off, rising above the glowing crystal forests. From above, the hidden planet was a jewel, pulsing faintly in the darkness, a silent teacher awaiting the next travelers brave enough to follow the path. Kane leaned back, letting the hum of the engines fill the silence. Not bad for a cowboy, he murmured. I think I like this adventure. Mira laughed softly. Not bad for a woman who isn't like others, either. The stars stretched before them, endless and full of possibilities. The hidden world below was still alive, still watching, still waiting. But Kane and Mira carried its lessons with them now, understanding that the greatest discoveries were not treasures or prizes, but knowledge, trust, and the joy of shared adventure. And as Dustlight Station appeared in the distance, Kane knew that the galaxy in all its vastness was full of secrets, puzzles, and wonders, waiting for those willing to observe, think, and connect. And he, the wandering cowboy, had found a partner ready to explore them all. The journey had ended, yet it had only just begun.